Hey guys, so I have a Mark II turbo, and recently it's been spewing oil and kicking it out of the exhaust. I found my seals are leaked here, so I'll be taking off the turbo and I'll probably need a rebuild. So I'm gonna go ahead and start. I'm going ahead and start by removing all the hoses connected to the turbo inlet pipe. I understand that my setup is a bit different than stock, but right now I'm going to remove the charge piping, just the upper part, so that I can access the exhaust manifold a lot easier. As you can see here, there's oil in the charge piping. This can be a symptom that the turbo seals are bad. Here we go again, more oil on the coupler. And there's a bunch of it. There's an aluminum cover covering the bolts for the exhaust manifold, so that's what I'm taking off right now. There's one bolt there and another one on the right. After we take off that little aluminum cover, we'll be able to access the bolts a lot easier. The easiest way to remove this bolt is to use a small extension on the end of the ratchet. This gives you a bit more clearance with the tip. These three bolts connect the exhaust manifold to the turbo itself. You want to crack the bolts first before you remove them completely. This is actually where some oil was leaking. I think the gasket is bad. And surprisingly, or I guess surprisingly not, the bolts were quite easy to remove. They were not seized at all. I found that the best way to loosen bolts is to use 50% acetone and 50% automatic transmission fluid. This is kind of a home brew mixture. A lot of people know about it though, but spray them on the manifold bolts and let them soak. While it soaks, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the downpipe from the turbo. Because I do have a 3-inch downpipe and it's bent different because it's on the Mark II versus the Jetta I used to have. Their bolts are particularly annoying to remove. So it shouldn't be a problem if you're all stock or if you have a 2.5-inch downpipe. The stud actually came out all on this one, which kind of made it easier to pop off. You'll need an 8mm Allen to remove this bolt, which will move the coolant line a bit so you can access the exhaust manifold bolts a lot easier. You're gonna work your way around the exhaust manifold bolts. I'll pull out the manifold here shortly and show you where exactly there are bolts. On 2 occasions I did take out 2 studs. This is quite normal, but usually if the penetrant worked pretty well, then you should be able to get out most of just the nuts. As you can see there, it's the gasket, and it is cracked. This was where the oil was seeping through, which was actually, I guess, kind of good, as I was able to kind of pinpoint to where my car was burning oil from. Now we're going to remove the banjo bolt with another 8mm Allen. This is for the coolant, so be sure to have some a tray or something to catch that underneath the car. The one on the bottom of that, near where my thumb is at, that's another banjo, same size I believe, and that one's a coolant, an oil line. So we'll remove that one after I flush the oil out of my car. Now you're gonna want to jack up your car, and you're gonna remove the oil bolt drain and the 2 bolts that are your return line for your oil. As you can see, I've removed them there and already drained my oil. Now you can go back to the top of the car and remove that oil banjo bolt I was referring to earlier. Where my finger will be pointing, there's going to be Allen screw that removes the bracket to the turbo. You'll need to remove that. It's easiest removed with one of those L-shaped tools. 19. Now we're going to remove this banjo bolt with a 19mm socket. It's also filled with oil. using one of these tools and a 6mm Allen, you'll want to get under the car to remove the last bracket of the turbo. To do this, you'll have to get back up under the car and remove the 16mm bolts and remove the shield. Then you'll want to use that ratcheting Allen or an L Allen. It will be a 6mm, and remove those two nuts. Then you can proceed to wiggling out the turbo and taking it out. This way allows for removing the turbo inlet pipe, the tip, after the turbo's out. This is easier for me. I don't have a lift, so working above the car as much as possible just a lot easier. And the mother trucker's out. Now I'm probably gonna go rebuild it, and I might make a video on it as well. I bought the kit off of Amazon, so we'll see how it goes. Please like and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and my voice wasn't too boring. Thanks.